Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am going to present some of the guiding principles of the Holy Quran, with the help of which we can bring useful reforms in our judiciary system. Chapter number 2, verse number 39 says, وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, those of you who have rejected the virtues of the Quran, وَكَذَّبُوا, and disbelieved in it by not acting upon them, ayatina, our verses, our messages given in the Quran, God's messages, ulaika ashabun nar, they will be put to the hellfire, put into the hellfire, hum fiha khalidun, and they will remain there forever. Now this means that the judiciary system should be able to inform the complainant and the wrongdoer about the wrongs he has done, according to the evidence given before them directly by listening to the complainant and the wrongdoer, whatever it is, civil crime or it is a criminal crime, it doesn't matter. And they should listen to them without the help of the advocate, because many advocates play the role of misguiding them or instigating them to many crimes which are not known to all, such as forcing them to tell lies, forcing them to hide facts. We now go to chapter number 2 and verse number 72 and 73. Here, God has given two beautiful principles of investigation. When they killed a man, God was going to take out or reveal what they were hiding, because one of them was a killer and he was hiding himself, and he was putting allegations on others and denying that he did anything, as always the criminals do. Then God says, وَقُلْنَا أَذْلِفُهُ بِبَعْدِهَا, that you should move information from the dead body of the person, the signs you may find them, that will be the evidence, and that will lead you to the killer, according to God's instructions. And if it is done like that, they will certainly find the criminal with the thing hard. Now we go to chapter number 2, verse number 111, which says, قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. If you are true in whatever you say, you should give proof and evidence for that. This means that God has asked us to show proof for whatever we say. He may be a complainant, or he may be a wrongdoer, or the respondent, as they say, or defendant, as they say. Now, both of them should be responsible for providing proof and evidence for whatever they say. And without the help of advocate, I say to you, because the advocate should be allowed to talk only on the points of law which are applicable in that particular case. When they will be asked to give proof of whatever they say, all their lies will be avoided. They won't be able to tell any lie because it will have no proof behind it. And they won't be able to hide anything, because if they hide, that will be a crime, and they will incriminate themselves. Now chapter 4, verse number 58 says that whenever you decide between the people, decide every case with justice. Justice means that the wrongdoer should be punished, or one who has wronged somebody, his damages should be remedied to him. He should be given a remedy for the damages he has suffered, and that remedy should be sufficient. And then God says that I am able to see everything every time, and Sami'an Basira, God says about himself. So this quality of God, of seeing everything, watching everything through his angels, and then reporting every action through his agents, whoever they are, and then he will put up all those proof and evidence on the day when everyone will appear before him. This is also mentioned in the Holy Quran. I mean, the judicial system should be such that all the qualities of God, hearing and watching and seeing and looking at whatever they do, will be done or imitated through their agents, secret agents, or media, or videoing them, or tape recording their activities. And in this way, proof and evidence will be collected against them. If whenever they suspect anybody, or whenever they think that somebody has alleged somebody of any wrongdoing. Now we go to chapter 4, verse number 105. Here we find the guiding principle that again God has said to the Holy Prophet that you should decide their cases of right or wrong between the people, and then God has said to us, and I have to advise every one of us. Everyone means the Prophet of God himself, and then others through him. I mean all the Muslims, all the persons who believe in these messages of God. He said, وَلَا تَكُنْ لِلْخَائِنِينَ خَسِيمًا. This is a very important word. The Khainin are those people who break the trust of God. The trust is that they have been entrusted with the guidance, with the instructions given in the Holy Quran, and they have accepted them, and now they are going to fall back on that, and they are going to disbelieve by their actions and showing that they have not acted according to their promise, I mean. So one should not be like that. The advocate should not do it. Generally, the advocate do so. Hence, the judge should be careful enough to watch whether he is supporting a wrongdoer or not. Because wrongdoing can be known by the advocate within a few minutes when he talks to him, or by the judge whenever he may talk to him. God has given very good guidance for this, and we'll come to that. This is chapter 4, verse number 135, and here we find a very good guiding principle. God says, Kunu kawwamina bil qist. God has advised everyone, instructed everyone to stand firm in giving justice to the people, and by being a witness before God, for God rather, that he is looking and watching and hearing everything which is done in his presence, and he is testifying that I have seen this, I have watched this, and I have heard this by my own ears, and therefore I stand witness, whoever the wrongdoer may be, even his relatives, close relatives, and friends. And then God says, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا الْهَوَىٰ. This is a very important advice, very important instruction, that you should never follow your own desires, your own opinions, your own feelings, but you should follow God's instructions and give justice to people. And God then says, if you do not follow your inclinations, your personal ideas and feelings and biases or interests, lest you should not be just. This means that you will not be able to do any justice. Therefore, one should never do so. Generally, advocates do that. Generally, the judges also do that because of their biases, because of their self-interest, which they don't disclose and never disclose. Nobody is allowed even to criticize them or to mention them. And even the advocates are seen to have bribed many judges, and judges are seen to have done open wrong in the before public, and I have been a witness to that I saw one judge doing something wrong and illegal, but hundreds of people were watching him, but he was never reported, and he was never again complained against by the wrong person or the advocate or his advocate. They are nothing but worshippers of money, as they say. So in order to avoid such advocates and avoid such judges, there should be a scrutiny on them for everything, and everybody should be free to complain against them. Now we go to chapter 5 and verse 44, 45 and 47, in which God has said that those who don't decide according to the instructions given by God in the Holy Quran, that is called Ma Anzal Allah that means God has revealed them through the Holy Prophet. Then there are wrongdoers, there are kafirun, that means they are rejectors of the instructions, and there are also termed as fasiqun, disobedient people who do not obey God's instructions. Now we go to, this means that everybody should obey, and everybody should point out that you have not obeyed this instruction. These instructions and law should be known to everybody, and if they are forgotten, the judge should remind them, the police officer should remind them, and the people should remind them about the law as well as the law of God given in the Quran. Both the laws, law of the land and law of the Quran. Now, because almost they are the same every time. Now we go to chapter number 6 and verse number 155, in which God has instructed all men, all his followers, and all those people who have accepted his instructions. When God says, that means whatever I have given you in the book means the Quran, I have revealed this to you through the Holy Prophet, and this is a very blessed book. A book which is very much useful for you. It will bring you a lot of blessings, and therefore you must follow these instructions given in the Quran, and you should be dutiful to God by obeying these instructions. That means you should be able to keep yourself away from disobedience. That means you must obey all these instructions. And now we go to, this means that everybody is supposed to obey the law of the land as well as the law given by God in the Holy Quran, which should be known to them. And the judge, the police officer, and everybody should remind them of this. Now we go to chapter 7, verse number 44, in which we find Lanatullah ala Zalimeen. This is a very important verse which says that whoever is doing something wrong, whoever he may be, the judge, the advocate, the people, they are cursed forever by God. That means God punishes them in his own way, in this world as well as in the hereafter. And therefore, the judges should also punish the wrongdoers. The police officers should also investigate and find out those wrongdoers and report them for punishment. The people should also report them for punishment, and at least they should dislike them and hate them for not obeying God and not obeying the law of the land. Now we go to chapter 24, verse number 4, in which there is a very important instruction that one should never accuse anyone. Here, God is mentioning accusing chaste women of doing something which they have not done. Then they should bring 4 witnesses. That means every accuser, every complainant must bring witnesses along with him, and those witnesses should be examined and cross-examined by the judge or by the police officer. Everybody can do so, or by the people. And then the decision should be given on the basis of evidence which is found out. Now, the important thing is that if they cannot bring any witness and they are accusing somebody falsely, then they should be punished. The punishment is also given here. This punishment is of lashes, but if they think that this is not so proper these days, they can punish them in any other way they think proper. However, God has advised them to give lashes. If it is lashes are given, nobody will be able to accuse somebody falsely. I recommend that the punishment should be obeyed as it is laid down in the Holy Quran without being ashamed of it. Now we go to chapter 38, verses 22, 23, and 24, in which 2 persons come before David, Hazrat Dawood, and Hazrat Dawood listens to both of them, and he decides that one of them is a wrongdoer, and when he asks him that you have done this wrong, then it has been advised that only those who write these deeds are supposed to be believers and be rewarded for them, but the wrongdoers will be punished. If he wants forgiveness, then he has to accept his crime, accept his mistake, that is called tawbah, and then he has to reform it or amend it by himself. That is called islah. Then it will be accepted. Well, now we go to verse 9 and 10 of chapter 49. And here God has instructed all of us that if two believers, two persons are fighting with each other, quarreling with each other, you have to see who is against the law or who is disobeying the law or who is not following the Quranic laws. Then everybody should condemn him for wrongdoing and provide justice to him by punishing him in any way it is suitable according to the crime. But the crime or the wrongdoing should be told to him with evidence so that he may have a chance to accept it and be sorry for it. So this one way of doing this before punishment is to make a settlement between them. God says that you should make settlement between two brothers if one of them has made a mistake, and the settlement can be made by the police officer as well as the judge himself by listening to both persons, the complainant and the operator. So in this way, if we take use of these guiding principles, we can reform the present judicial system. Thank you very much.